It is like a roller coaster ride, uh, and it is full of new ideas. Ideas that belong to one alone. Ideas not fenced by limitations of society. Ideas to know more and learn new, not in the traditional manner, but in a manner that gives inner joy and sense of satisfaction and achievement. Uh, Let me give you a few examples which we generally know, but then probably it fits very well and it's going to explain the concept in a very, very clear manner. In Bengal, there is the tradition that during the Durga Puja, the sculptures of the goddesses are prepared from the soil that is collected from the houses of the prostitutes. The prostitutes are basically considered the bad element of the society. So it's a different concept altogether. It is moving away from the normal. It is totally an astray action that involves utmost dedication to prepare the sculptures and the joy that it gives to the people who make them and those who worship them as well. It is unlimited and beyond explanations. But the concept, the underlying concept within it, is carnivalesque in nature. Uh, well, let's go back to the Ramayana. Kekai demanded the 14 years exile for the most favorite prince, that is Ram. And much later, Sita was also asked to prove herself and leave the palace just because an ordinary woman said so. The washerwoman did something unusual that went against the ethics and the decency of a common man. To go against the king is not the normal norm. But just because a washerwoman pointed out that how do we know Sita is pious? So Ram asked her for an Agni Pariksha. So the role of the woman was carnivalesque in nature. Similarly, the Mahabharata, it is all full of such incidences, be it the vow or the pratigya of the Bhishma, which is called the Bhishma Pratigya, that he decided not to marry and to be dedicated to the throne of Hastinapur. It was an out of the way decision that he took. Or even the attempt to insult Draupadi, which led to the war, killing brothers. And even in the war, the norms were not followed as such. There were so many times, even Lord Krishna, as a matter of fact, broke the norms of the war. And he did something, or the Kauravas did something which was not actually desired. So all such is carnivalesque. It is root deep in an act such as not mourning the death of a near and dear, but instead celebrating it in a manner that the positivity and aura of a person spreads all over and makes a heaven on earth. After all, see, this is a hard and rigid rule that any mortal who is born has to die. We aren't immortals. So if this is the way of God, we might as well celebrate it instead of, mourning over the death of a near and dear. My cousin, after the death of my Buaji, actually I learnt a lot from them. After the death of my Buaji, they constructed an ashram, and every year, even on the death anniversary of Fufaji and Buaji, every year they go and distribute food, they organize events, and they bring everybody together, and it is like a celebration. So actually speaking, this is a very nice concept because it helps you to live the way one should live. The Oxford Dictionary also defines it as the liberating and subversive influence of popular humor on the literary tradition, and according to the theory propounded by Russian writer Mikhail Bakhtin, which he is described, as I said earlier, in the Problems of Dostoevsky's Poetics that he wrote in 1929, and The Rebellious and His World in 1965. He argued that the overturning of hierarchies in popular carnival, its mingling of the secret with the profane, the sublime with the ridiculous, lies behind the most open. Carnivalesque to a Bengali person who is fond of eating fish is wanting to eat butter chicken, that is a Punjabi dish. That is sort of carnivalesque. It can be there in your choices, it can be there in your speech, it can be there in your thought. And probably each one of us has it, but we actually don't know what it means. So that is how it is. George Bernard Shaw has made a very nice statement, and he says the golden rule is that there are no golden rules. And this is carnivalesque. Your time is unlimited, but otherwise age is limited. So we don't want to, or we should not waste it in living for somebody else. We should not be trapped by the dogmas, which is living within the results of other people's thinkings. Let the other person's noise and his opinions be drawn out with your own inner voice. And most important is to have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. So there are many other novels like The Helen of Troy. There is a saying, "Sweet Helen, make me immortal with a kiss." This is one of the dialogues. So how can you become immortal with a kiss? But then again, it's a thought process. It's carnivalesque. It's different. It's unique. Acts of Faith, another novel by Eric Segal, which was written in 1992, is a page turner all the way. The theme emerges as a giant and supersized ideology, basically, and that all writers have followed. They may not have known, but they follow it. You see, what the future holds for us is anybody's guess. The art and the style is unknown and uncertain. So let us not debate on what shall be, but rather authenticate and substantiate carnivalization from the old. Let's relive, let's generate new ideas, let's implement them in an open manner. This is what carnivalization is. So Bakhtin traces the origin, and Salman Rushdie uses it openly. All other writers use it too. Let's also be carnivalesque. Let's also celebrate life. Let's also add the spice into the life. And let's do what we please. Let's be happy. Let's be rejoice. Let's be what we are. That is carnivalesque. Thank you. Hope it was informative. I shall get back to you with other such words and explanations and terminologies which probably are not very familiar to the general crowd. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay blessed.